Hello, this is Mary Bush from Stampin' in the Sand. Thank you for joining me today. Today we will be creating card number 3 in my Bohemian Crazy About You card class to go. This is our Hello card. The primary colors are Bermuda Bay and Island Indigo. From your stack, you will need your Bermuda Bay card packet. Contained in your packet is an 8.5 by 5.5 piece of Bermuda Bay cardstock. You will score this at 4 1/4. You also have a 4" by 5 1/4 inch piece of very vanilla cardstock, one pre-die cut Hello, a piece of Bohemian Designer Series paper that's been cut at 2 inches by 5 1/4. You have a strip of Island Indigo that's 1/2 inch by 5 1/4. A very vanilla square that's 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. That's for stamping your flower. And a 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch small square of very vanilla. On this, we're going to stamp the flower in Island Indigo and fussy cut it out. So let's get started assembling our card. You can start by putting aside your card base for the moment. We will not need that quite yet. Pull out your very vanilla panel, your Designer Series paper, and your strip of Island Indigo. I'm going to bring in my liquid glue, Tombow liquid glue, and I'm going to put a small strip of glue along the top edge of my Designer Series paper. Then I am going to line up my Island Indigo piece so that there's a small border along the top. Bring back in my glue. Cover the back of the whole piece. And we will line this up along the bottom edge of our very vanilla panel. As I've said in prior videos, I really like the liquid glue for the flexibility it gives me when I'm trying to line everything up nicely. Okay, so that is finished there. Then we're going to take our Hello. I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap paper. And for this next step, I prefer to use my two-way glue pen. I find that it gives me just enough glue on the back of my die cut words. And there's more control than using the liquid glue. You don't need a lot. And this is pretty fast drying. All right, so pick that up, get that out of the way. And I'm going to line my Hello up towards the right-hand side of my very vanilla panel. And the good thing about this nice script is that it doesn't even have to be perfectly straight. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat. I'm going to bring in my 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 inch piece of very vanilla and my Bermuda Bay ink pad. Then I already have my flower from the Crazy About You stamp set mounted on my block. I'm going to ink that up. Check to make sure I've got good coverage. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp it so that my largest petals are corner to corner. Close up my ink pad. bring in my paper snips. I'm going to snip off a little piece of the corner. That just allows it to slip into my punch a little bit better. So I'm going to bring in my coordinating punch, line it up, center it, and punch it out. Now I'm done with those. Bring back in my piece of scrap paper. Clean off my stamp. Come in with my Island Indigo. Ink that up. Center it on my small piece of Very Vanilla. Close up my ink pad. Peel that off, set it aside to dry. Just stamp off some of that ink. Okay. So now what I've already done is I have already fussy cut the center of this flower out. So save some time. All I did is bring in my paper snips and quickly snip out the center. So that's all done. Okay, so I'm going to flip this over, bring back in my liquid glue. I don't know what that is. Okay, then I'm going to center it on my card base. And now I can put my flower together. So I'll come in with one of my Stampin' Dimensionals. And place that on my card. Then I'm going to come in with my glue dots and find a dot. Put one on the back of my Island Indigo flower center. Line that up. And now my card is complete. So I hope you've enjoyed making your Bohemian Crazy About You hello card. As usual, if you would like, you can adorn the center of your flower with a rhinestone jewel or a pearl or some dazzling diamonds. The choice is yours, or you can just leave it plain. I think it looks just as nice without any embellishment at all. So thank you for joining me. You can get all of the supply details and order information for my card class to go on my blog. The link is listed in the URL below in the description of this video. Happy stamping, and I hope to stamp with you again soon. Bye!